If you're an older LEGO Star Wars fan, you'll remember these. These are the 2009 Clone Wars Clone Troopers. You know, the ones who had the really cursed face. I really think this style of Clone Trooper is underrated, and while it's not my favorite, it's certainly a really good one. I love how simplistic it is, while still managing to have a lot of cool details. I mean, this was the only time they made LEGO ARF Troopers, and I kind of miss this era of LEGO Star Wars because we got so many cool, diverse types of Clone Troopers that we don't get anymore. The sad thing is, we haven't seen this style of Clone Trooper in over 10 years. But JONAKTOYS is here to fix that with his new AP1 release. Today we'll be taking a look at the first ever Clone Troopers we ever saw in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and something extra at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. These three Clone Troopers are Jek, Rhee, and Thyre, and they accompanied Yoda on his mission to Ragosa. Without further ado, let's take a look at these guys, starting with Rhee. So this guy is definitely the most simplistic figure we're looking at today, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing because when they're simple, they can also be really cool looking. I gave him this custom backpack that you see in the show, which really should have some dark tan instead of the dark gray, but I think it looks fine. Taking a look at him side by side with this ARF Trooper, you can really see how good JONAKTOYS has gotten at replicating the prints from LEGO. I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is literally as good as it can get with UV printing if you want to match something. So this helmet was decaled by me on knockoff LEGO parts because his knockoff helmets are pretty high quality and there's only a slight color difference, but if you don't know how to decal, you can always buy the Clone Me Custom helmets that he sells. I went with the decals because in my personal opinion, it looks better if you know how to do it right, and it's also much cheaper. I gave this guy a DC 15 from JONAKTOYS too. What I love about JONAKTOYS figures is he has everything on his store to make the entire figure, which is really great because you don't want to be paying shipping for different stores. Here we have Clone Trooper Jek, not to be confused with the one from the Yoda Chronicles. Even though that Jek may be more recognizable, I still think this one is really cool. He does use the same exact helmet as Rhee's, so if you're decaling both of these, you're going to make sure you don't want to mess them up in a different way, because you want them to look exactly the same. And I think I managed to do a pretty good job of that. Really, the only thing that sets him apart from Rhee's is this strap that's on his torso and the back torso. And he doesn't have the backpack that Rhee's does. I like this guy a little bit more than Rhee's because the strap reminds me of Commander Rhee, which was one of my favorite childhood figures. Since this guy hauls around a rocket launcher and a minigun, I decided to build up this small backpack for him so he can carry both at the same time. I think it looks okay on the figure, but if anything, it juts out a little too far off the back. I think this guy looks really cool with both of these weapons, and he definitely is the heavy weapons specialist of the group. I think the strap that he has on his armor is a good way of subtly hinting at that, even though it doesn't do anything for him to be a weapons specialist. While we're here, I thought I'd mention the wonderful functionality that these Clone Me Customs weapons have. I love how this barrel can move if you're animating or something, and I love how you can attach a bar or one of those Marvel effect piece to the end of a rocket launcher to show that it's blasting off. Finally, we have Thyre, which you remember how he looks in the show. He's missing something, or two things to be exact. One of those things is the macro binocular piece, which I wanted to use LEGO's official mold instead of Clone Me Customs because I think it would look better matching LEGO's style. Sadly, LEGO doesn't make one of these, so I decided to hand paint one by myself. And I think this actually turned out really well. If anything, the paint is a little dark, but that doesn't really bother me too much. I also added a black line on the front to show the windscreen of the visor, and if you're not really good at painting, I imagine you could just do the same thing by getting some spray paint and it'll give the same effect, just with a little less detail lacking the visor. But putting it on this figure, I think it really completes the figure because without that, his helmet just looks way too white compared to the other two. But even though he looks complete, he isn't complete yet. He's missing his shoulder pauldron. It's a custom cloth piece that I cut out from JONAKTOYS. I think it looks really good and it matches the style of the AP1 Troopers really well. This is the only thing I decided to go with where it doesn't match LEGO style of these because they used the big plastic one. But putting it on the figure, I think it looks really good. I used to be obsessed with this guy when I was little. I would literally watch that one episode just to see him in those scenes because he is so cool looking. I think the helmet turned out really good. It looks like a less detailed version of Fox's helmet with a visor on it. And that black line, even though hard to see, it adds a lot of good detail. If the paint I mixed looked a little closer to LEGO's color, I could see the black line a little better. While we're still kind of on the topic of cloth pieces, I thought I'd share a little hack I had. So this cloth piece, when you put it on a figure, sometimes it can jut out a little bit in each direction, so it's not really flat and flush with the figure. The easiest way to fix this problem I've found is using this big pauldron piece, which I found this technique out by Mayday Figs, so go watch his videos. but you probably have if you've seen mine. If you leave this on for a day or two, it should look really good once you take it off. These are some of my favorite clone troopers growing up, and I'm so glad JONAKTOYS make these. I hope he continues to make more niche clones from the Clone Wars TV show because they're great. But we're not done yet. I have one more thing to show you guys. So a while back in one of my haul videos, I got this misprint from JONAKTOYS, and I thought if I use these legs, I can make a really cool looking AP1 Phase 1 trooper. But once you swap these legs out, I think it looks really good for your AP1 clone troopers, and I really think JONAKTOYS should just sell these legs individually for the people who have armies of these. Same thing for the RP2 figures. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for all the support recently, and if you're new to this channel, please leave a like and subscribe, and tell me what you want to see next, because I'm open to any suggestions in the comments down below. If you want sneak peeks to my videos early, go to the community tab on my channel, or follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time.